For decades now, the automotive world has transformed into a battleground of ambition and innovation. Electric vehicles, self-driving technology, and fierce global competition have turned car manufacturing into a high-stakes race that's left even the most established brands struggling to keep up. The rules of the game have shifted. Automakers are no longer just building cars. They're chasing visions of the future. But here's the irony. In their relentless pursuit of progress, some car companies are digging their own graves. Models that once defined reliability and status are now riddled with technical missteps, while cutting-edge features are outdated almost as soon as they hit the market. Consumers are hesitant, investors are restless, and brands are betting everything on technology that might not even survive the next 5 years. This is more than just a business crisis, it's an existential one. How do you sell a car when your competition isn't just another company, but the speed of innovation itself? And how did the industry go from chasing the next big thing to struggling just to stay afloat? Cars once represented freedom, power, and connectivity, shrinking distances and redefining how people experience the world. Yet today, this once unshakable industry is navigating treacherous waters, teetering between its rich legacy and an uncertain future. Shifts in technology, consumer behavior, and regulatory landscapes have sparked an unprecedented transformation, one that promises to revolutionize the way cars are made, sold, and used, but not without significant growing pains. Nowhere is this tension more apparent than in the push for electric vehicles. Electric vehicles emerged as a response to mounting environmental pressures and the finite nature of fossil fuels. Tesla, with its sleek designs and visionary leadership, blazed the trail, showing the world that electric cars could be more than utilitarian. They could be aspirational. Traditional automakers scrambled to follow suit, pouring billions into electrification to remain competitive. General Motors, for example, pledged to phase out gas-powered cars by 2035, backed by a $35 billion investment in EV development. Ford launched its all-electric Mustang Mach-E, while Volkswagen shifted its focus toward EV production under its ID lineup. However, the journey toward electrification has been fraught with obstacles. Supply chain issues, skyrocketing costs for raw materials like lithium and cobalt, and widespread technical setbacks have hampered progress. General Motors suffered a $2 billion loss due to massive recalls of its Chevrolet Bolt batteries, while Volkswagen faced severe software glitches in its EV models, undermining consumer trust. Even Tesla, the poster child for the EV revolution, has faced criticisms over build quality and missed production targets. Despite these challenges, EV sales have steadily grown, climbing from 4.2% of global car sales in 2020 to over 14% in 2023. Yet, this growth pales in comparison to the staggering investments required to electrify the industry, with the 2023 Alex Partners study estimating that automakers globally will need to spend over $515 billion on electrification through 2030. As the promise of EVs falters under the weight of economic realities, another frontier, the dream of autonomous vehicles, has proven equally elusive. Autonomous driving technology was envisioned as a game changer, with companies like Tesla, Waymo, and Uber promising a utopia of safer roads and effortless commutes. Billions of dollars were poured into research, with Tesla's full self-driving feature marketed as a revolutionary step forward. Yet progress has been painstakingly slow. True Level 5 autonomy, where cars operate without any human intervention, remains a distant goal, with most systems today stuck at Level 2 or 3, requiring significant driver involvement. The public skepticism has further dampened the industry's ambitions. A 2022 Pew Research Center study revealed that only 26% of Americans would feel comfortable riding in a fully autonomous car, while over half voiced safety concerns. High-profile accidents involving Tesla's autopilot systems and Uber's self-driving tests have only exacerbated these fears. Meanwhile, companies like Ford and Volkswagen abandoned their autonomous driving unit, Argo AI, after pouring billions into what turned out to be a financially unsustainable endeavor. Compounding these issues is the problem of market saturation and overproduction. In their quest to dominate every niche, automakers have flooded the market with an overwhelming number of models. In 2000, there were roughly 220 car models available in the US market. By 2023, that number had ballooned to over 450, with SUVs, crossovers, hybrids, electric sedans, and compact cars competing for the same consumer base. Yet, global vehicle sales peaked in 2017 at 95 million units and have since declined, dropping to just 75 million in 2022. This overproduction isn't just an economic burden, it's also a cultural one. Younger generations are less interested in car ownership than their predecessors. A 2023 Deloitte study found that 45% of Gen Z respondents were delaying or foregoing car purchases altogether, citing economic pressures, environmental concerns, and the convenience of ride-sharing services like Uber and Lyft. This shift is forcing automakers to rethink not just how they build cars, but also how they sell them. Adding to the turmoil is the issue of obsolescence. Rapid technological advancements have created a paradox where cars are becoming outdated faster than ever before. A vehicle purchased today may feel obsolete within a few years due to constant updates in software, battery range, and autonomous features. For consumers, this creates hesitation. Why invest in a car now when the next model will offer superior technology? This problem is particularly acute in the EV market, where resale values are alarmingly low. Some early EV models, like the Nissan Leaf and Chevy Volt, have lost up to 70% of their value within 5 years, compared to the industry average of 40 to 50% depreciation for gas-powered cars. Meanwhile, legacy automakers are struggling to balance their traditional combustion engine lineups with the push for innovation. Companies like Toyota and BMW, long considered industry leaders, are finding it increasingly difficult to compete with newer players like Tesla and Rivian, which are unburdened by the need to maintain aging infrastructure. Even Toyota, a pioneer in hybrid technology, has faced backlash for being slow to embrace full electrification, leaving it vulnerable to criticism and declining sales. The automobile industry's current struggles serve as a stark reminder of the challenges inherent in transformation. Once a symbol of stability and progress, the sector now stands at the intersection of opportunity and uncertainty, grappling with a host of internal and external pressures. The promise of electrification, the allure of autonomy, and the relentless drive for innovation are all pulling automakers in different directions, creating a volatile environment where even the most established brands are struggling to survive. The automotive world stands at the edge of a precipice. While legacy automakers scramble to salvage their identities, a new generation of challengers is reshaping what it means to move. These disruptors aren't just building cars, they are designing ecosystems that intertwine technology, sustainability, and societal change. As old giants falter under the weight of outdated systems, a new battle emerges. Not for cars, but for the future of mobility itself. Companies like Rivian and Lucid Motors have sidestepped the pitfalls of traditional automakers, embracing innovative designs and marketing strategies. Rivian's electric trucks have carved a niche as rugged yet futuristic tools for adventurers, while Lucid Motors has redefined luxury with vehicles boasting record-breaking ranges and unmatched technology. But it's not just about American startups. Across the Pacific, China has rapidly become the nucleus of the EV revolution. BYD, a name that once flew under the radar, now outsells Tesla globally, combining affordability with performance. China's government-backed push toward electrification has given it unparalleled control over battery production and supply chains, leaving Western automakers scrambling to catch up. The rise of tech giants like Apple and Sony is equally transformative. Apple's announcement of its fully autonomous prototype, one that eliminates traditional steering wheels, has turned heads, positioning the tech company not as a competitor to Ford or GM, but as an architect of transportation's next era. Sony's partnership with Honda has further blurred the line between car makers and entertainment powerhouses, offering vehicles that prioritize in-car experiences over horsepower. On a geopolitical level, countries are racing to secure dominance in the new energy economy. The US has responded to East Asia's battery monopoly by incentivizing domestic manufacturing through tax breaks and subsidies. Massive gigafactories are sprouting across America, promising to shift the balance of power. Yet the supply chain remains fragile as nations vie for control over resources like lithium and cobalt. These critical materials, often sourced from conflict-ridden areas, expose the ethical dilemmas of the Green Revolution. In Europe, stringent regulations have accelerated EV adoption, yet infrastructure challenges persist. Charging networks remain patchy, and without significant investment, even the most ambitious zero-emission goals risk becoming unattainable. Simultaneously, urban centers worldwide are redefining mobility. Car-sharing platforms, autonomous taxis, and public transport expansions are replacing the notion of individual ownership. Transportation contributes roughly 16% of global emissions, and every automaker, tech disruptor, and policymaker faces the ticking clock. The question isn't just who will win the battle for market share, it's whether the planet can survive the race to modernize. The old titans of the automotive world now stand at a crossroads. To survive, they must transform not just their products, but their purpose. The stakes are no longer confined to boardrooms or assembly lines. They extend to the future of cities, economies, and the environment. In the battle for the future of transportation, innovation is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. And as this race unfolds, the lines between winners and losers blur, leaving us to wonder if, in the end, the victors will be those who dare to envision something entirely new.